Your friends are scrolling through short content, but you, my friend, you're here to learn. Welcome to the RAAAZ Clips. What does the word satsang mean?
Satsang is a combination of two Sanskrit words. Sat means truth, Sang means company. And actually, satsang can be the path to liberation as well. The great spiritual master Adi Shankaracharya said, Satsangatve nissangatvam nissangatve nirmohatvam nirmohatve nischalatatvam nischalatatve jivan mukti. That in the course of satsang, you get out of bad company, nissang. As a result of getting out of bad company, nissang, you get out of moha or delusion, nirmoha. Nirmohatve nishalatattvam. As a result of getting out of delusion, we are firm in our convictions, our spiritual convictions. And as a result of being firm in our spiritual convictions, nishalatattvam, nishalatattve, jivan mukti. We are liberated in this lifetime itself. So, satsang is the path to liberation.
But it's the elimination of bad company that begins this process?
It keep good company, bad company falls on itself.
What does that mean?
It means that if we want to detach ourselves from the lower, one way to do it is by trying to throw everything away, getting rid of things. But it's difficult because even if I may know that something is bad for me, I still have attachment to it. I still like it. I might have friends who are not right for me. They're not right for this chapter of my life. They're not right for where I want to go. But I still have some great memories with them. I still have some form of attachment to them. And if I reject them, then it's hurtful at both ends. It'll hurt me, it'll hurt them. The right way to do it is to attach to something that is greater. And then the lower attachments fall away on their own. If you think about in our childhood, when we were 4 or 5 years old, we all had some toy, some car, some stuffed bunny. That was our favorite thing. We could not live without it. We used to go for birthday parties also. There was one, half dead little stuffed animal with us. But everyone thought it was, dirty, but we loved it. It was our best thing. What happened? At some point at age 8, 9, 10, we attached to other things. And then this thing that was okay for one period of our life, but inappropriate for the next period of our life, fell away. This is the same thing. Good Sanga achieves that. Now, there are some really transcendental Puranic stories about what Sanga can do. But we'll see how the conversation goes and we can share them at the right time.
I wonder what the stories are.
You want me to go through them now?
Yeah, because I think friendship has become a priority for me at this point in life. I think for the longest time throughout my late 20s, because of just how life went about and what society was telling me, I thought romance is the priority. And even through the show, I've realized that it's actually friendship that's the priority. I probably have 3 or 4 close bros in the world who've been there for donkey's years. And I probably value them more than I value even a potential romance that could come into my life because, the romance may come and go. You might even get married and divorced, but those brothers will stay there. So I think friendship is a very important truth, even from a bit of a spiritual perspective, even from a bit of a Sanatani perspective. I spoke about this to Rajarshi Nandi as well. The thing is, he spoke about how when you die, technically your marriage also dies because one of the partners is dying.
Correct.
So even something as pure and ultimate as marriage eventually collapses.
Yes.
But what stays with you throughout life are your friendships. Possibly you'll carry that into your next birth as well.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll carry your friendship with your wife from this birth into the next birth as well. But friendship trumps romance.
See, the more we evolve spiritually, the more important association becomes. Good company. They could be friends, they could be partners, they could be anything. And association, Sangha, company, friendships are probably the most ignored aspect of spiritual life. See, if we are progressing spiritually, what do we need? We really only need 3 things. Shastra, sadhana, Sangha. Shastra, scriptural knowledge, study, wisdom. Shastric wisdom can come from anywhere. We are now sharing it on YouTube. Shastra. Sadhana. Some practice needs to be there to allow that wisdom to take root. But what is it that keeps you on the path? What keeps you on the path is Sangha. We need relationships in our life that nurture us. We need relationships in our life that calm us when we are going through difficult things. We need relationships in our life that soothe us. We need relationships in our life that give us the opportunity to serve them when they are going through their challenges. And yes, a romantic relationship or partner is extremely important. And finding the right partner is getting more and more difficult these days. But there's no fear, certainly not as much fear in friendship as associated with finding a partner. You find a friend, you're never like, is this the one?
Okay, cool. Let's talk about the stories.
So the stories of Sanga, there are so many. There's one really, there's a story that really touched me. That I recently studied how to do very specific pujas. In that, there's the Navagraha Puja, 9 planets or 9 celestial beings, the celestial bodies. Center of that is Surya, and then you have Chandra, Shukra, and so on. So all of the celestial bodies that we recognize. Shani, that everyone is so scared of.
Just to be clear,
Guru.
Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury, Mars.
Mars.
Saturn.
Rahu Ketu.
Jupiter?
Yeah. So
Rahu Ketu.
Sun, Moon, Mars, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu and Ketu. And there's one more which I'm missing.
Mercury,
yes. So Rahu and Ketu are very interesting.
What are Rahu and Ketu celestially speaking?
So celestially speaking, they don't have a visible presence, which is what makes them very interesting. Because all of the other entities are entities that are there in the solar system. And solar system is now a Western phrase. But Saurya Mandal predates the idea of the sun being at the center of the solar system by several thousands of years. Now, in the Saurya Mandal, we have Rahu and Ketu. Rahu and Ketu were originally one being that ended up being headless. So the head became one being and the body became another being. And this incident occurred during the churning of the ocean. So in Vishnu Puran, there's an episode where auspiciousness, everything that is good, disappears from creation, not just from the earth. So both the Devas and Asuras need something to bring it back. And they are facing into their own annihilation. So they want the nectar of immortality as the ultimate goal. So they go to Shri Vishnu and say, we need to find this nectar of immortality. So Vishnu says, okay, I will take the form of a giant tortoise. On my back, place a mountain. Around that mountain, wrap a snake. On one side of the snake are the Devatas, the other side of the snake are Asuras. And start churning. So this Kshir Sagar, which we visualize as the ocean of milk, which sometimes is referred to as the Milky Way as well, as a cosmic celestial presence and arrangement, in that the churning starts. So on one side the Devas are pulling, the other side the Asuras are pulling. So this sort of movement. And what ends up happening is from this ocean, through the process of churning, a number of things start to emerge. Now what is this? Bhagwan, in the form of Kurma, the tortoise, is the underlying reality that gives, on which everything takes place. The mountain is our body. The snake is a spiritual possibility, Kundalini, that is yet to rise. Devas and Asuras are the higher and lower tendencies in us that are pulling. And that churning that is happening in the ocean is the process of meditation from which things are starting to emerge. So the first thing that emerges is poison, halal. And that poison is so terrible that it gets into the eyes, into the lungs. Nobody can breathe. At that time, Bhagwan Shiva comes and he consumes that poison. And it is limited to his throat. Tells us two things. One is when we are going through the meditation process, the first thing that comes out is our inner poison. And most people get distracted at this point. Because they're like, oh, I can't believe this is in me. I thought I was a good person and all these things. I'm trying to do something good. I can't do it. And they give up. But you must know, and through these stories we know, first thing that comes out is poison. And that poison is choking us when we experience it. What to do with it? Give it to Bhagavan. Because Bhagavan is the only one who can consume it without being consumed by it. So offer it. When the poison comes, when the thoughts come, when the tendencies come in the seat of meditation, give it to Bhagavan. That is one thing. Second thing it teaches us is that now we see all these photos and videos of Bhagavan Shiv with charas and whatever else. What a ridiculous image. What a ridiculous idea. And if someone says, oh, Shivji used to smoke, so I want to smoke, we should ask them, Shivji also consumed poison. You are willing to consume poison? Most people will say no. So that is part of the episode. As things go forward, other things come out. Dhanvantari, the deity of Ayurveda, comes out through this process.
One of the pre-planned questions for me for this episode was about Dhanvantari.
Okay, we might talk about it.
Cool that you're bringing it up. It's supposed to be in this podcast. Anyway, go on.
And when Dhanvantari comes, he's holding a kalash, a pot, which has the nectar of immortality. Okay. Now, when that nectar of immortality is brought up, suddenly everyone wants it. They throw the snake, they throw the churning, they just rush after it. So Bhagavan Vishnu assumes the form of Mohini and holds that nectar. Mohini is one who enchants the entire universe. Anything that is created is enchanted by Mohini. So in enchanting everyone, Mohini ji says to the Asuras, hey, you were going, how can you just have this? Go have a purification bath and then come. So they go to have a bath. Amongst them, one person stays back and disguises himself in the Devtas. And the Devtas start to consume that Amrit. And this person gets one drop. And as soon as he gets one drop, Vishnu realizes that it's not a Deva. And he sends the chakra, cuts the head off. But that one drop by the time has gone in. And that Asura head that is removed becomes, one of them becomes Rahu and the one becomes Ketu. Yeah. What does this tell us and what does this have to do with Sanga that we are talking about? It tells us that a Asura can be elevated to the level of a Deva and can get immortality. How? Not by cheating and getting into the lion, but by keeping the company of those evolved beings. As a result of being in that company, Rahu and Ketu that was born as an Asura has been elevated. Now, one may believe that there are Devas, Asuras, head was cut off, nectar of immortality. But the fundamental idea is this. Good company can transform our lives. We have to only seek it out.
So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out this playlist for more videos just like this. It's TRS Clips.